Hello everybody and welcome back to a missing round of the Grand Tournament, well not the Grand Tournament, the Tournament of the Old World, Toto. This is actually round 3 of the Skaven rounds. This was where Deathmaster Snikch took on Throt the Unclean. In my somehow absent-mindedness, I forgot to upload the original version of the battle and had to re-record it. Luckily, I had screen grab of the units that were involved in both sides, so I kind of could put the force together. This isn't exactly how the original battle went, but it is supposed to be how it is. Spoilers for anyone who's already seen it, we know who the victor of this battle is, but it's still fun to see it all the same. So, across from us, we have Deathmaster Snikch here, whose front line consists of a Storm Vermin with sword and shield hiding in these trees here, and behind them is a relatively strong line of support and ranged units. We've got a unit of Skaven slingers, just hardy all-round ranged harasser unit. We've got some warp fire throwers, which can be very effective if given the opportunity. We've seen how good they are for the dwarves. We've got Deathmaster himself, stood in the middle of the tree line, backed by a Eshin sorcerer, and then next to them is a unit of Rattling Gunners. Now, these have had mixed results, but the Rattling Gunners can sometimes produce good results. Now, at the back we've got a unit of Night Runners, which are obviously an effective hybrid missile melee infantry unit. And one of the more unique units which are for Clan Eshin are the Eshin Triads, who are equipped with Guandao spears, basically, or glaives, essentially, with rather nasty looking bit of warp poison. I don't know, some kind of horrible. If it's glowing green, it's probably not good for you. And then their artillery unit of a warp lightning cannon. Now I'm going to say now, the positioning of the warp lightning cannon, very bad. Don't think it's going to do a lot. But across from them is old Throt the Unclean. Throt is riding on the back of his pet giant rat. But his front line consists of a unit of Storm Vermin with halberds as well. We've also got his support and skirmish line consisting of the good old Warplock Giselles, a popular choice by the random unit generator whenever it's picked. Alongside that is a Packmaster support specialist with his little neck-grabbing weapon there. Very familiar enemy type to encounter in Vermintide 2. Alongside Throt there on the back of his giant rat. And then also a unit of warp fire throwers and a favourite of mine in the Skaven line, the Poison Wind Mortar team. I do really like these guys, they're quite fun. And finally, at the back of his force is a unit of Death Runners, which are a dual sword infantry unit, very fast, very nasty. But let's get to the battle now. As I clicked the wrong button, but there we go. So, Throt's unit immediately gets involved as the Warplock Giselles open fire quite early on. We do have a single shot from the Warp Fire Thrower, which does actually obliterate 2 of the Warplock Giselles. I mean, good God, it leaves a mess, let's put it that way. The Warplock's obviously very quickly getting to a point of returning fire. The Poison Wind Globadiers just kind of spraying shots around. They did seem to get a successful hit there, though, on the on the Rattling Gunner team, which the Rattling Guns, they just don't get the kind of use that they should. This is a highly effective ranged DPS unit that the AI just doesn't know how to use very well. Meanwhile, the Warplocks are still returning fire. The Warp Lightning Cannon missing there. It's a little bit withheld now at the moment. They're not very confident, but it looks like Throt's forces are finally going to get involved. Yep, here they come. Right, the AI has decided that it's time for the scrap. As we've got the 2 units of Storm Vermin charging toward each other, halberd versus shield and sword. Oh, I think a miss shot there from the mortar team. As we got Throt charging in, we've got spells and abilities kicking off all at the same time. A huge symbol there of the Skaven. We've got warp fire flying over the lines. We've got Throt, who's in the middle of being attacked here. He's got numerous buffs and debuffs on him at the same time. Deathmaster Snikch leaping in. A unit of Rat Ogres, which I didn't even see in his line. I think this is a summoned unit, which some do have. Yeah, it's a summoned unit. Some abilities do allow them to bring in extra units. Of course, early on, the Rattling Gunners have already broken and started to flee. This isn't an unusual sight. We've just got frankly, we've got absolute chaos going on here. The Storm Vermin with Sword and Shield have already routed. This is looking bad for Deathmaster. He himself is in the middle of that. He's wavering as well, suffering under the effect of the Weeping Blade that reduces his armor, which isn't particularly high already. He's a DPS melee character. He's not one that's built for prolonged combat. Meanwhile, the Packmaster is involved in a vicious battle here with the Eshin Triads. And Throt just charges into the back of them, with blood and gore spilling everywhere. The Warp Fire Thrower is now involved in the combat. They're also fleeing, but the Packmaster is also retreating. The Night Runners of Deathmaster have also gotten involved in the battle. We can see that the Death Runners from Throt have also decided to get involved in this. It's all getting a bit chaotic, a little bit crazy at this point in this battle in the woods. We can see that obviously the Warp Lightning Cannon team won't really haven't had much to do, as the Poison Wind Mortars just slap right there. That it looks like basically the Warp Watcher's Ales and the Warp Lightning Cannon are just having a little bit of a back and forth. But we can finally see the Rattling Gunners are getting involved. They're firing. They're shooting at things. Oh, it's a great sight. It's great to see the little barrels spinning as the unit gets involved in the fight. But the main melee is still continuing here. We've still got the Packmaster and Death Runners fighting against the Storm Vermin and the Eshin Triads. This is a nasty little battle right down here in the middle of the trees. Warp Fire being thrown in. That is not that. I mean, Warp Fire does not differentiate between friend and foe. That is going to be detrimental to Deathmaster's forces. We can see in the background, Deathmaster is chasing down the Warp Fire throwers. Throt the Unclean is broken, and it looks like the Death Runners have also decided that it's time to turn tail and run. The Warp Watcher's Ales are still in the fight, as are the Poison Wind Mortars, who are currently hitting the trees mostly, but the rounds are going in. And they're smashing in around the Rattling Gunners, causing a lot of damage to them. Oof, a significant number of casualties. I don't know if the Rattling Gunners will be able to do much in return to that. We do have a unit of Storm Vermin Halberds who have barely managed to reform a line, but it's not going to last. They've got virtually no morale left as Deathmaster charges in full pelt. He's going in. Is he gonna get one? Is he gonna get one this turn? No, he's oh, and that's it. Jeff's called it. What a short, sharp battle. Well, let's see what the post-battle statistics are there. So, out of the two sides, Deathmaster definitely brought more weight in his forces. 614 rats, losing 222, with 392 remaining, whereas Throt only brought half that number, 310, 159 losses for 151 remaining. Arguably, he did better statistically in the fight, but ultimately lost the field. Deathmaster himself only scored 14 kills and was nearly taken out, looking at his remaining hit points. His Eshin Sorcerer didn't really get any kills at all, and dealt very little damage, if any. In fact, I don't even remember seeing him on the battle post the introduction. The Eshin Triads got 5 kills, but did obviously hold up a melee infantry unit of his own, and the Storm Vermin did largely the same. Though the Eshins only killed 5, whereas the Storm Vermin got 28, the Night Runners got 3, the Warp Fire Throwers, although we saw them firing, apparently didn't kill anybody, just did damage. The Warp Lightning Cannon got 13, the Rattling Gunners got 24, and the Skaven Slave Slingers killed a mere 1. A very inconsistent set of kills here on Deathmaster's side, whereas on Throt's side, he himself killed 41 rats, his Packmaster got 21, and they roughly equal the kills of the Death Runners at 66, the standout unit of the entire battle. The Storm Vermin with Halberds got 9. The Warp Fire Throwers on their side also only got 1, which compared to both of the Warp Fire Throwers I think are showing up as being pretty weak, ineffective units here. The Warp Watcher's Ales got 20, and the Poison Wind Mortars got 25, but numbers basically carried the day there for Deathmaster, though it's not really a slight against Throt, who definitely put in the work, definitely got the kills, and it's yeah, it was an unusual outcome, but there you go. Round 3 that was missing from the Skaven one is now in the can. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.